Good day, Pathfinders, and thank you so much for sharing your time with me so that I can talk about the purpose and power of relationships. Look, I'm one of those people that's had some crazy situations with people in my lives, but I've come to learn from them, and I want to share what I've learned with you. And I will be using my book, reading a little bit from it about relationships a little later. But first, I want to talk about the true power of relationships. The book is called The Call Path, A Journey into Love, and we'll see how we can find fulfillment in our life, especially in our relationships, from what I wrote. But let's talk about the word relationship. The first part of that is the prefix re, which means to do again or to be brought back. Then the middle part of that, latus, means to be born or carried. So we find some true power already in the word relate, that to relate to something means it's carrying you back or it's helping you be born again. That in relating, in coming together, in connection, just connection, we are already finding our way back to something. Now, many of us have a lot of ships in our lives. And ship just means a state of being or a quality or a condition. Many of us have people in our lives who are just present, who are just there. If we want to party, they're there to party. If we want to go to church, they're there for church. If we want to go to get an education, they're there for education. But they add no real movement into our lives. They add no bringing back. They add no being born again. There's nothing new. There's no new revelation. There's no new birth in us from them. But they are ships. They come into our port and they sail back out. Some of those ships bring something positive into our lives, and some of them take more from us than what we had before. But the reality is that we can have relationships, ships that come into our lives and transform us into better versions of ourselves, but what I actually call the original versions of ourselves. They bring us back. They rebirth us. What does that mean? What was your original state? What was your original way of being? Well, if you think about every religious text, it talks about that the earth was made and then we were made. That means before us, everything was made for us. We had limitless control and power and thought potential and creativity. Before Adam and Eve consumed any kind of fruit, they knew no fear. They had no doubt about their possibilities and limitations. They never thought that they were naked. They didn't think they should be ashamed of any part of who they were. They believed they could name the animals. Understand that every part of your fear, anxiety, doubt, depression, and anything else related to the negative emotions in your life and negative feelings about yourself, that you're too fat, you're too thin, you're too smart, you're too dumb, you're not social enough, whatever it is, let me tell you, the relationships in your life are supposed to bring you back to before any of those negative things hindered your mind or controlled how you felt about yourself. That's the power of relationships. And that's what I want to get you back to today. So I'm going to read just a little bit from my book, The Call Path. And we're going to talk about how to have achievement, true achievement in your life from relationships. Short scripture, and then we'll get right into it. From Ephesians 4:2-3. It says, with all humility, forsaking self-righteousness and gentleness, maintaining self-control, with patience, bearing with one another, in unselfish love, make every effort to keep the oneness of the Spirit in the bond of peace, each individual working together to make the whole successful. That's powerful right there, because in that humility, you learn how to have oneness with others as you have it with yourself. And that is where the source of having healthy relationships comes from, which is why I put it right there in the book. Now, I want to read this, that the vehicle, I call it the vehicle for achievement in your life, is relationships. Relationships are indeed the vehicle to reach achievement in your life, because everything starts with relationships. Your body has limitless interactions that function as relationship within itself. A pregnant woman has a relationship with an unborn child. A programmer has a connection with his computer. A NASCAR driver has a relationship with his car, and everything starts with relationships. Pathfinders, your relationships are directly impacted by the quality of the heart, soul, strength, and mind of each individual involved. Think of that. As people engage one another, they reveal how adequately they have developed in each of those areas. A simple conversation can reveal the power of a person's mind and the depth of their soul. This intimate interaction can leave each person feeling inspired and blessed, or confused and depressed. The exchange of energy can drain or restore you. This reality exposes the power of relationships. Let's be honest. We all have had some challenging relationships, whether it was a relationship with a boss, a colleague, a former friend, parent, or partner. We have experienced a range of negative emotions from people we want to respect and love. The struggle is only amplified when you consider the relationship you have with your own self, your own heart, your mind, your soul, and strength. Yes, other people may disappoint you, but how many times have you let yourself down? How hard are you on yourself when you don't stray, as you should sometimes, from your path? Or how hard are you when you do stray extra hard from your path? One of the hardest parts of existing is feeling like you failed. The sense of failure has driven people towards depression, isolation, and suicide. And there is a lingering feeling that you are not enough against your purpose. Like wearing blurry lenses on high-end glasses, you can't see true value through your own eyes. And in this state, it is easy to become a victim when you fail or a relationship ends. It's easy to blame everyone else for what feels like a failure. And sometimes our best relationships fail not because of the other person's issues. They fail because we have our own struggles that act like dams, holding back the waters of love from flowing freely into our relationships. You may see the blockade as a control mechanism to prevent future heartbreaks and disappointments, but that is a false reality. The only outcome of blocking love from others is blocking the love you need within yourself. We are to love others as we love ourselves. This is the free flow of love, where you are both the giver and receiver. Share your love because your love is amazing. Why? Because you are amazing. Giving love displays your worth and reveals the wealth you carry within. Never hide your light or limit your love, for your power increases as you discover your more comfort in giving. Relationships are not just for precious memories. True relationships expose weaknesses that slow progress. Appreciate those who perfect you. Reevaluate those who pander you. If you can't see the difference, you can still feel it. It's in the human touch. This touch is not merely physical. It can be sensed through a loving expression or concerned rebuke. It is the active work of sharing one's time, energy, and focus with another. The law of conservation of energy reveals that energy is not created nor destroyed, only transferred or changed. This law can be easily adapted to fit love. Love is not created nor destroyed. It changes forms of expression. I like that. The impact of love, the touch, can present itself in ways that may appear unconventional or contrary. A person watching a couple that is fighting could perceive the relationship as trouble, but their love could be communicated by the passion in their movements and words. The touch of love is present when parents punish a wayward child. Be present to touch others with love and receptive to the love being shared with you. When you feel unloved, place your hand on your chest and feel the presence beating within you. You are here because your call path creator is in a relationship with you and is partnered with your power and potential. Allow existence, others, and yours to be the validation of your purpose. No one is created to be a mistake or an accident. Accept love as it's given. Just want to say this to you. As a person who was adopted, I know that love from those who are not blood can hold as much value as from those who are from your lineage. You have the power to create and forge relationships that are healthy and whole, that bring you back to the place before you knew doubt and depression, before you had suicidal thoughts, and before you were willing to give up on your life. You have the power to use relationships for your purpose and your destiny. I believe in you, and I believe that these relationships that you will have coming forward will be the best relationships of your lives. Don't allow this generational thought that new is better. Go back in your life and consider people who may have been disowned by you, maybe intentionally or unintentionally, because of maybe falling out or moving away. But don't disown those relationships from people who knew you, knew your strength, knew your weaknesses, and were willing to help you move forward. I believe that sometimes it's in the going back and in the being born again that we discover the relationships that are meant to carry us and ship us into the next point of our purpose. I love you much, Pathfinders, and I pray that this message transforms your life. Now share it with somebody who you know needs to have healthy relationships, whether it's in their job, whether it's someone they're dating, or it's you. I love you. Keep on staying true to your purpose. And remember, this is a journey into love. Keep loving yourself. Be blessed.